So in today's little session here, we're going to do something different. We're going to go with making some muffins. I'm going to go with a muffin mix. It's really simple, really easy. And to get started, what we're going to do is preheat that to 180, and I'm going to drop that down to 5 minutes and get started there. Then what we're going to do is add the ready mix to this mixing bowl. It's not a very big bowl, so we hope it all goes well, although I foresee a bit of a problem here. Still, it's the only bowl I've got. And then what we're going to do is add 2 extra large eggs. Right, so we add the 2 eggs. And then we need to add 200 mils of water and 125 mils of oil. So I don't have a measuring goodie, so what I'm going to do is just add the approximately that's about 200 mils of water, I guess. Right, and then we've got to add 125 mils of oil, and then we add that to the ready mix. So I'm just going to get those eggs going with the water. Right, so that's mixing in nicely. Nice little binding agent going there with the eggs. And then what we're going to do is add 125 mils of oil, and then we add that all to the ready mix and we stir it up, but we don't mix it up too much. We just give it a nice light mix. So, right, there we have that mixed up. Not perfect, and then we need to add about 125 mils of oil. So I'm just going to estimate some oil in here. Right, I guess that should do it. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be the right amount, but as we're just baking, I figure it should be okay. Then it's to just mix that all together, and mixing oil with water, we all know how that's going to end. So what I'm going to do now is add that to the ready mix. Hopefully, oh, it's a very, very tight fit. And then we're just going to mix that up. And just careful not to overmix. So give it a good stir. Alright. Just keep it going. Careful not to over mix or under mix. And we've got a lot of little pieces there that we want to mix in. So right, so that's going okay. Right, a little bit of overflow there, but not to worry. And right, so that's going. Yeah, that's coming on really nicely. Mixing that in. So really easy if you go with an easy pre-mix kind of setup, because then everything's kind of done for you, and you've got all the right ingredients then in that easy mix. So just making sure we get to all the mix and feel it getting nice and firm. So firming up nicely. I think we got the mix right with the water and the oil. No doubt we'll soon find out. And I'm just using the fork here to pick up the mix that's still at the bottom of the bowl here, but it's definitely picking up more and more. It smells pretty good as well. How's our oven coming on? Almost done there on the preheat. almost done here on the mix. So we're almost ready to make our muffins. Right. So now what I'm going to do, now that we've got that mixed in there, not the biggest bowl, but it seems to have worked. Right. Yeah, that's looking good. So now we need to get that butter. Butter out so we can just grease this muffin pan a bit here. So what I'm going to do now is apologies for the beeps. Right, so we're just going to move that to the back, and now what we need to do is just lightly grease each part of the pan here, and then what we're ready to do is then pop this in there for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be ready to go. So to grease it, I'm just going to do this don't have another way of doing this right now, so we're just going to go doing it this way. And yeah, this butter's really hard. Would have been good to have the butter out the fridge so we could grease it up a bit better, a bit softer butter, but it's still going on nice and easy. We're just using a small piece here. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. So the butter's starting to get a bit softer, so that's really nice. And the idea here is just to prevent it from sticking. So don't be shy on the butter. Right, getting that butter going. That's looking good. And a bit more. So not very exciting to watch. Right, so that's pretty much the greasing up done, albeit in a rather crude way, but I think we've got each pocket nicely greased up. And of course we want to make sure we do a good job so that there's minimal sticking. Right, so that's the greasing up done. I'm going to wipe my hands, and then we can start filling the container with the mix, and then we can put it in the oven. So I'm just going to I'm going to get another spoon or fork to assist here. So we've got our mix, and we're just going to be dropping that in. And it has a very nice consistency. It feels right. So the proof will be in the tasting. Right. So we're just going to fill each one a little bit more so that we get a nice full muffin coming through here. And the idea now is to bake this in the oven, so we're not looking for high temperatures, we're looking for a good temperature over a longer period of time. Right. Now that's looking good. I only have the one tray, so I'm going to try and do as much I can in the first sitting. And yes, it does hold quite a reasonably good, decent amount of bake. And then just as I'm finishing off here, we're going to just give that a quick warm up there for about 2 minutes, and then we'll be ready to add the mix. So I'm trying to get as much in here as possible, which is probably not the best idea because it might be overfilling, but yeah, I reckon that's going to work out really nicely. Some good decent sized muffins here. So with that in mind, just going to scoop that out. Okay, looks like we're just about done there with scooping. Okay, so one little mix there of the various ingredients is enough to fill one of these trays, and this is just a standard accessory kit that you can get for an air fryer. But right, there you go. That's going to do it. And actually not bad uncooked either. Right, so that has been preheated now. You can see there's no light on, so I'm going to pull that out, put that down, drop the muffins in. So there we have the muffins nicely in. I'm going to close that, and you'll see here that we do have a program that we can use for the muffins. So I'm just going to go straight with that. So it's 160 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes, and I'm going to leave it, and we'll come back in a little bit and see what that looks like. See you in a moment. So the muffins have cooled down a little bit, not completely cold. Can still feel a bit of heat radiating off, but at least now cool enough to hold, to touch. And what I'd like to do is just give that a slice so we can see what it looks like inside. So here we have a knife, and I'm just going to cut like this. And as you can see, it's a beautiful texture on the inside. And then if I cut down into the base, so this is what was in the bottom of the pan, and you'll see that it's cooked really well, and it's just slightly crispy. And here you'll actually see, you can actually see here on the cutaway that it's a lot more crispy. It has a beautiful crispy outside, still nice and warm. And that is really good. So muffins in the air fryer, not a problem, absolutely fantastic. Tastes delicious. Try it yourself. Thank you for watching.